Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining me in another video. So a couple of weeks ago, I put out a video where I briefly went over the AIA documents that you need to have with you for the business and finance exam. Remember, you need to have three documents: the A201, the A401, and the A701 with you. These are not very large documents. They're really just pamphlets. So you should definitely read all of them at least once, have some kind of familiarity with these documents and what they're discussing. Since I've put out that video, I've had a few people reach out to me with some specifics. All right. Now, people want to know what kind of questions they can expect to see with respect to the AIA documents. And the purpose of today's video is that we're actually going to go over the A201 because I think the A201 is the most important out of the three. And we're going to do three sample test questions, just so you kind of have an idea of what you can expect to see on the exam. I'm not going to get into the relationship between different parties and dynamics. That was discussed in a different video. What I really wanted to do was kind of just go over the A201 and then do a couple of practice questions, okay? So A201, all right, just to reiterate. The good thing about this particular article is that whenever a question comes up on the exam, you have to be able to look for the key terminology. And with the A201, the good thing is that you have a very good table of articles here. Whatever the key words are in the question, the first place that you need to go with those key terms is the table of articles. Right here, you'll be able to see these are essentially like shortcuts. If the question is dealing with time, there's a section for time. So you can jump to that section of the AA document right away. If their key terminology is, let's say, insurance, you can just jump to section 11 because section 11 deals with insurance. If they're talking about, let's say, claims and disputes, you can jump to section 15 right away. So the great thing about 201 is that it has a great place to start. The table of articles. Another thing that 201 has that I think is very, very in-depth is they have a really good index. So based on the key terminology, if you don't see necessarily the key term in the table of contents, look for that key term in the index, all right? They make it easy for you because some of the more important things that you can expect to see in this article, they already have in bold, all right? So some of the minor stuff is not in bold, but some of the major stuff, that's in bold. So it's kind of like highlighting for you, so you can have an idea of where you need to jump to, all right? Here, they've got sections and subsections. It's a good place to start, okay? So let's do a couple of quick questions, all right? So the first question that we're going to talk about is, according to AIA document A201, the responsibility of signing building permits belongs to the blank, all right? So it's either the owner, the contractor, the architect, or the realtor. So the way that I would approach this question is like this, all right? So you're reading the question, the responsibility of signing building permits. Key terms there are, in my opinion, responsibility and permits. What I would do, I would try to find, if you don't know what the answer is, and you probably don't because there's way too much information to memorize, you look for the key terminology, all right? I would start off in table of articles. If you don't see the term permits in here, you move on to the index, all right? Look for permits. Let me see if I could find permits here somewhere. Okay, there's a section for permits. Permits, fees, notices, and compliance with laws. Like I said before, what's really good is that they're already highlighting some of the stuff that they think is most important. And here, what you have highlighted is section 3.7. So let's jump to section 3.7. Section 3.7, permits, fees, notices, and compliance with laws. Unless otherwise provided in the contract documents, the contractor shall secure and pay for the building permits as well as for other permits, fees, licenses, and inspections by government agencies necessary for proper execution and completion of the work that are customarily secured after execution of the contractor and legally required at the time bids are received or negotiations concluded. Fairly simple, okay? So we know that the answer to the question is going to be B, the contractor. It's right in here. Now you may have known the answer, and if you know the answer yourself because you've already, dealt with these articles, great. You don't have to go through this. You can just answer the question. If you don't know, this is essentially how you will go about finding it. Okay, so section 3.7 gives you the answer. It tells you that the responsibility of signing builder permit belongs to the contractor. Okay, that's a kind of question you can expect to see on the exam. Let's do a couple more questions. Like I said, these are not like this isn't brain surgery. You can do this. If I can do this, you can do this. All you have to do is just stay focused and pay attention and follow the index or the table of contents. So the next question that I want to go over is, according to AIA document A201, the blank is to furnish the site survey. So your choices are, it's either A, architect, B, owner, C, subcontractor, or D, contractor. So I'll read the question again. According to AIA document A201, the blank is to finish the site survey. Me personally, when I read that question, the key terminology that I hear is site and survey. You go back to the table of contents. If you don't see the words site or survey, you probably won't in the table of articles. The next thing you do is you start looking for it in the index. So surveys. Let's see here. Surveys. Okay, so we found it. Section 117 or section 234. Okay, let's go to 117. No, that's not something we're looking for. Let's go to 234. 234. The owner shall furnish surveys describing physical characteristics, legal limitations, and utility locations for the site of the project and the legal description of the site. So, according to AIA documents A201, the blank is to finish the site survey. We know that the answer is the owner because it says so right there. All right. So, fairly simple. Like I said, these are not really intense questions. Like I've said in the previous video, for the most part, you're just filling in blanks. They're just going to give you basic questions with something that's omitted, like some kind of terminology or a number or a date or something like that. And what you have to do is you have to be able to navigate the article and you have to find the answer so you can fill in the blank. All right. So let's do another question. Let me see here. Okay. So according to AIA document A201, the contract time may be extended for which of the following reasons? A, lack of funds to complete the job on time. B, accidents by workers. C, authorized by owner pending arbitration. D, employee negligence. All right, so I'll read the question again so you have an understanding of what the key terms are. The contract time may be extended for which of the following reasons? All right, so I'm hearing time and extended. So that's the key terms that I'm picking up from that question. Let's see here. Let's go back to the table of articles. Here they have time. They have it listed. So we know it's going to be in section 8. Let's go to section 8. Okay, section 8. They're talking about definitions, no. Progress and completion, no. Delays and extensions of time. That's exactly what they're asking for in the question. The contract may be extended for which of the following reasons? Okay, so let's see here. If the contractor is delayed at any time in the commencement or progress of the work by the one act or negligence of the owner or architect, of an employer of either, or of a separate contractor; two, by changes ordered in the work; three, by labor disputes, fire, unusual delay in deliveries, unavoidable casualties, adverse weather conditions documented in accordance with section 15.1.6.2, or other causes beyond the contractor's control; four, by delay authorized by the owner pending mediation and binding dispute resolution; or five, by other clauses in the contract that the contractor asserts and the architect determines justifies delays. Then the contract time shall be extended for such reasonable time as the architect may determine. So the answer is in there. There's a lot of information in this particular paragraph, but the answer is in there because out of all the answers that the question gives you as far as options, lack of funds to complete the job on time, no, that's not one of the five. There's five. There's five reasons why this can happen, and lack of funds to complete the job is not one of them. Accidents by workers is not one of them. Authorized by employee pending arbitration is one of them. Okay, so you essentially have to, in this particular case, you have to read this whole thing and fish out the proper answer because it's kind of, there's a lot of information in there, and yes, a lot of it is kind of like legalese. They're not making it easy for you, but the answer is essentially word for word what they gave you in the question. So you kind of have to put one and one together. So we know that with this particular question, which is according to AIA A201, the contract time may be extended for which of the following reasons? C, authorized by owner pending arbitration. All right. So that's essentially the kind of questions you can expect to see on the exam. It's some of these may be easier than others. I did not have too many difficult questions from the 201. Like I said, when they're most likely going to give you the kind of scenario with a question. They're gonna like lay it up for you. They're gonna say according to A201 or A401 or A701. When they're doing that, they're already like letting you know that you can eliminate all the books. You can just focus on that one particular article. Then the next step is for you to go find the key terminology in the table of contents, and then you can take it further and look for the key terminology in the index. It's not these. I don't think that these are very difficult questions. I think they're very, very reasonable, and I think that some of the questions that you can see from the Florida Contractors Manual are probably a lot more difficult and a lot more time consuming. When it comes to the AIA, once you know which document that you're working with, it's really just a matter of you finding the proper section of the article to find the correct answer. It shouldn't take you that much time. And yes, if you are prepared and you have covered these documents, it's going to be a lot easier for you. If you come into this test never having opened these articles, these documents, you're going to struggle. All right, because there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of legal terminology here, and you can definitely get lost in the weeds. If you have a pretty good idea of what each of these articles is talking about, it should not be that difficult for you to navigate these documents. Like I said, I think 201 is probably the most important one, so spend more time on the 201, but definitely make sure that you cover the others as well. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it shouldn't be too difficult. As always, if you've got any questions or you want to see something specific, let me know, and we can, I can address it. Maybe I'll make another video with respect to whatever it is that you're looking for. I'll do my best. But as always, thank you for watching. I appreciate the comments and the likes and all the love everybody has shown me for the videos. That's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.